Florida A&M University will be searching for a new president. Today, President Dr. Larry Robinson announced that he will step down from his position as president, which he has held for just under 7 years. His exact departure date will be determined once the Board of Trustees meets. The university said Dr. Robinson plans to return to his FAMU School of the Environment professor role before being named FAMU's 12th president on November 30th, 2017. Now, Robinson's announcement comes months after we saw the now ceased $237 million donation from Texas hemp farmer Gregory Jerami, which made national headlines and is currently under investigation. Core licensure program performances also heightened concerns from the Florida Board of Governors. We look at this, Matt, and I don't think that this is a very big surprise, but it also seems as though there's something behind the scenes we don't know about quite yet.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm frankly surprised he stayed on as long after that debacle as he did. Jarrell Blakely, who broke the story, is a friend of mine from college, brilliant brother. And I'm glad he did the work that he did, because this is the kind of thing that shows, institutional failure, especially from the president and the C-suite executives who saw a very big dollar sign and didn't do just basic due diligence to check it. And FAMU is a fantastic university, so it's really sad that their brand has been sullied by this. But I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There may have been some deals cut. He's obviously staying on the faculty, but I hope that their next leader and their next group of leadership is able to shepherd the university going forward and continue making some of the strides that they've made. But that is a huge black eye on that campus. It's just extraordinary that happened, because it was so easily disproven had they done very basic work.
Yeah. Michael, what do you think is going on here? Do you think what is going on is what we are actually seeing, and that this president who will be stepping down, it was on his own volition? He made the decision, and that it all worked according to how we are reading?
Yeah, I don't have direct evidence that it was because of the over $200 million fake donation from the hemp entrepreneur, but it seems like that if that wasn't the primary reason, it probably played into the whole calculation, because I felt that there were going to be some people resigning or getting fired behind that, because one of the things that it did, even though in the beginning, we want to believe stories about African-American entrepreneurs that give back and give to HBCUs. But when nobody had ever heard of this guy, when they're going back and forth over, okay, the stocks have already been given, things like this, but who gave value to the stocks, that makes any institution the laughing stock of education, not to do a play on words, but it's just embarrassing. It's like, wait a second, nobody from your school of business did any research on this guy? It's just embarrassing. So yeah, we'll see what the real reasons behind this are. But it was just sad to see how everything turned out also behind this. Because I know budgets were made and plans were made to spend that money, right? And now you have to recalibrate because you find out that, you were given monopoly money.
And process-wise, yes, we look at Dr. Robinson, someone who, as the president, was a final word in many situations. But process-wise, Matt, a lot of people were involved in this along the way. I'm actually surprised that, as you said, it took this long, and I'm surprised that other people somewhere along the way also didn't get fired or removed or decided to voluntarily step away.
Yeah, I'm with you completely, particularly because, most universities have developmental teams or foundations or endowment team, right? People who go out and get money, who get donations for the university. So I don't understand how it went through presumably multiple levels of contact with this guy who seems to be just a straight up fraud based on what I've seen reported. And nobody got wind of that, particularly because $237 million is an astronomical amount of money. And it's an astronomical amount of money compared to a lot of HBCUs endowments. So, for it to be meted out over a number of years, it seems like this is the kind of thing you truly want to vet. If we were talking about a purported $50,000 gift, this would be a completely different conversation. But you're talking, institution changing money. And I don't know how they didn't do the very basics to determine that this was not a real pot of gold.
All right. And let's think about this. I want all three of us to think about this for a moment, especially starting with you, Matt, your legal background. It seems as though this particular pledge was somewhat fraudulent and that there would be something that would happen legally to come down on all of the havoc he caused, knowing that he was not holding himself out to be who he said he was.
Yeah, I've thought about that, and I don't know that I've really come to any conclusion on exactly what he could be charged with. But, there are a lot of state level criminal and civil charges essentially for fraud. And I would think that this is fraud not only to what he represented to the university, but whatever, kind of to Michael's point about how the university planned to use the money, anything that they did in reliance. So if they spent any money setting anything up or, otherwise expending monies, expecting to get money from him, then I think that, he should be liable for that, whether it be criminally or civilly. But this is definitely fraudulent. And I'm sure that people looking at it might find ways both on the state and federal end to prosecute him, because I'm assuming there would be some fraudulent documents involved, maybe fraudulent transfers. I'm not sure of what the evidence would show, but it seems to me, he represented something that wasn't true, and that should be actionable.
Michael, your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think it was definitely fraud involved. And, once again, you have to do some vetting. Roland did a number of segments dealing with this, and it was really good, because it's like, okay, so nobody from the city where FAMU is, nobody had heard of this guy. Nobody heard of this guy in the city where he was in. Let's Google this guy's name. Let's research his operation. Let's go visit his operation. Let's go visit. Let's see how many employees he has. Things like that. He said he had thousands of contracted employees, et cetera. You remember on Saturday Night Live, they had that skit, yeah, that's the ticket. They got it loud all the time. And he said, yeah, that's the ticket. The more you heard about it, the more lies you heard. Okay. Thousands of contracted employees. Okay. This guy's like in his 30s. And we want, I used to read Black Enterprise every month. Yeah, we want to celebrate successful African-American entrepreneurs. But it's like, hold on, wait a second. Something's wrong about this story. So, and the more we heard about it, the worse it got. That's the part about it. The more we heard about it, the worse it got. But I think there's definitely some fraud involved in this. And I don't know if there are possible legal charges behind this as well. I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah. Matt, what I'm thinking is that Dr. Robinson, at least he wasn't fired, because, again, I think that when we look at this whole process, that there were a lot of people involved, and it all shouldn't have fallen on him. And he's going back to the classroom, it seems like, or some other capacity. But he is, in fact, staying with FAMU. And I think that was fair.
Well, heavy is the head that wears the crown. What happens when the team isn't losing? It is not winning. The coach gets fired. That's how it works. And the buck stops with him ultimately. Now, granted, I have no idea what evidence was presented to him or not presented to him, but I think your point is well taken. There may be other people who are not in these positions anymore, and frankly, they shouldn't be, because this is public money. It's a public university, right? So everything that the school does should be in support of the public, and the public trust is an indispensable part of public service. So once you lose that public trust, you no longer have that capacity to do public service. But he'll continue teaching, and hopefully FAMU will have a new leader that can root out very basic, obvious things like you're not getting $237 million from a dude with no real employees selling hemp somewhere in Texas. Like, that's not happening. And hopefully the next people can figure that out.
Yeah. All right. As we go to break, let's also hope that those alumni that they're contributing a little bit more in light of all of this, because as Michael has said, a real letdown, especially if this money was already promised in certain places throughout the university. All right.
Time to get paid, blow up like
Fanbase exclusive audio rooms are here. Now tap, talk, and get paid. Monetize your live podcast and most engaging conversations. You can now create exclusive audio chat rooms only for your subscribers and biggest fans. And as a user, subscribe, listen, and talk to your favorite creators. Now tap, talk, and get paid. Because everyone's a fan of something, and everyone has a fan base.
I'm blowing up like you thought I, and if you don't know.